Hey everybody, it's James Quick, and today I want to tell you all about my first year in web development. So first things first, in last week's video, I let you guys in on a little secret that by the end of 2017, I'm planning to create and put out a free YouTube series with the topic of Back to the Basics, Core Fundamentals of Web Development, where we will only use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with no frameworks and no libraries. So I'm still looking for feedback from you guys on what good topics and ideas would be, what you would want to see and learn, and maybe things that you learned along the way that you think would be important for other people to learn as well. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions, put them in the comments and I'll try to get them in the series. Second, I told you guys last week that I was about to go buzz my head to come back this week and check it out. And I did it. Here it is. You know, a lot of people have asked me why I did it. It's something I've thought about for several months. I really just wanted to see what it looked like. I wanted to try something different, and there was no better time to do it than during the summer before it got cold. So this is what you get until it grows back out. Like it or not, this is it. So the way I want to structure this video is I'm going to walk through and answer 10 questions that I think will give the most insight into what the last year as a web developer has been like for me. I want to start with how I got started, cover what it's like to do full-time web development, and cover everything in between. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1, how did you get started? So about a year ago, I decided to take Colt Steele's Web Developer Bootcamp on Udemy. If you can find it, if you're getting started, go check it out. It's awesome. And it was basically a full stack web development course. So it was front end, just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. On the back end, it was Node and Express and Mongo. And you know, previous to taking that course, I had been really honestly scared of web development and JavaScript. I thought it was so different. I thought I wouldn't be able to really understand it. I was really comfortable with like Java and C# and that kind of stuff. So I really just kind of shied away from it. But I took Colt Steele's class, got a great introduction on a lot of different topics within web development. I continued to kind of work with that. I built a couple sample projects to reinforce what I learned and really just kind of fell in love with it. But it was basically on a whim that I got started because I had previously spent most of my time doing mobile application development, did some cloud stuff with Microsoft, and again, had been scared of web development, gave it a shot, really enjoyed it, and it's worked out really well because now I do it full time. Question number 2, what technologies have you worked with? Again, I started with that full stack web development course. Then a friend of mine online told me I had to take a look at Ruby on Rails. So I started looking into that. I watched all of Mackenzie Child's videos on YouTube. I've mentioned him before, but he did a series that was build 12 weeks or build 12 apps in 12 weeks. And each week he would take like an hour or an hour and a half to build some application. And it ended up being really cool because he could take Ruby on Rails, which was very opinionated and could glue a lot of the pieces together for you and build a pretty good looking application within like an hour and a half. So it was really cool. Really enjoyed his videos, really enjoyed spending time with Ruby on Rails. I didn't feel quite as comfortable with Ruby, but I pretty quickly moved on to WordPress development, looking at just kind of understanding the WordPress platform and how to leverage it. And then I kind of circled around back to the JavaScript world, doing a lot of Node. So in personal projects, mean stack, used Angular 1. I've just now gotten into Angular 4. So that's been kind of a fun past couple of weeks. Bootstrap, Angular Material is one I've picked up recently. And some of the automated tooling along the way. Covered a lot of different topics and platforms and technologies in the last year, but I think it's really helped me kind of understand the web development ecosystem and understand where my interests are most. Question number 3, what technologies do you focus on now? So the things that I focus on now, again, mean stack, so Mongo, and I covered most of this a second ago, but Mongo, Express, Angular, and Node, Angular 1 and 2, or Angular 1 and 4 now. Done a lot of Java on the back end also, so getting into Spring Boot at work. So those are where I spend most of my time. I also do freelance web development, so I do that in WordPress, and I've done a couple of projects that I finished up recently, so I'm really glad to have finished those. So, question number 4, what are some of the best resources that you found to learn web development? So the best resources that I found, I'll break it down into 3 categories. The first is just YouTube videos. I mean, they're free, they're awesome. You can find people that do amazing content that know so much about web development. I'm just gonna kind of let a list scroll by here of people that I follow on YouTube. I would highly recommend following them. They're obviously very knowledgeable. So in addition to YouTube, I swear by Udemy, very well put together, well thought out, paid courses. And I say paid, I've never paid more than $15 for a course, so it's not expensive. It's well worth it if you're investing in yourself to get great content. Highly recommend it. Like I said, I got started with Colt Steele's Web Developer Bootcamp, and that's really the reason that I do web development full-time to this day. One of the ones I have to mention on Udemy is you have to find Anthony Alicea. I hope I pronounced that right. But his courses really dive deep into how a certain technology works. I think it's super, super important, something that gets skimmed over all the time. Best videos I've ever watched was JavaScript, Understanding the Weird Parts. If you're getting into web development, don't have a ton of experience, you've got to watch that video. It'll teach you all the things that you never knew were weird about JavaScript, but totally makes sense once you watch it. And I apply the things I've learned in that course every single day in everything that I do. And the third piece here is just blogs. Two of the ones that I want to mention first off are Scotch.io and SitePoint. I can't tell you how many times I've searched for a question in Google and come across one of their articles to do exactly what I want. They've got pictures and great explanations, fantastically organized content on their blog. Definitely check them out. Go lay down. Come on. Come on, girl. Go lay down. Come on. And the last website I want to mention is W3 Schools, which has the most basic examples that you could find on lots of different web technologies, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, Angular, all different kinds of stuff. And they're super simple examples, but they cover exactly what I need. Best reference that I consistently go to remember syntax, to remember methods and functions. W3 Schools is, I mean, you might as well bookmark the page. If you go there as much as I do, it'll be a lot. So you might as well just have easy access to it and leave it up. Question number 5. What are some of your strengths and weaknesses? I guess I'll start with weakness. I'm not a design person. I'm not very artistic. I can't draw. I can't come up with what things should look like by myself. I need someone most of the time to tell me what something should look like. If it's up to me to come up with the design and then implement it, it's probably not going to turn out that great. But if someone else hands me a design, I can do that pretty well. But creativity on the artistic side is not my thing. It never has been. I'll keep working on it, but right now, I mean, that's easily my biggest weakness in web development. Biggest strength for me is really my passion and the amount of time that I spend learning and watching videos and applying in personal projects and samples and videos like this and blogs and stuff. I can't tell you how many times at work I've come across a problem that I've already solved or found a solution to in my spare time. So all the time that I spend watching videos, practicing, learning, building content helps me the most. And that's, I mean, easily my biggest strength at this point. That's really helped me get to, you know, a successful first year in web development, doing it full time now. Question number 6. How do you stay up to date? I follow all these YouTube videos I talk about. I follow these people. I follow people on Twitter. If you just do searches for web development or Angular or Node or whatever it is, find people on Twitter that are posting about it. Find articles and websites that come out with blogs. Like I said, SitePoint and Scotch.io. I use Feedly as an app that I can aggregate articles from different sources, and I scroll through them at least once a day. In web development, there's technologies, new technologies and frameworks every single day. So it is one of the harder areas of development to stay up to date with. So you really have to be proactive about it. You have to do your research. And conferences, go to conferences. Anything that you can do to stay connected to the community and the people that are really influential in that community is going to be a big plus. Question number 7. How do you get better? The number one thing is just consistency. Same thing with learning language. If you're learning language and you're not practicing it every day, you're not going to be as good. So consistency, just, you know, as you're learning, build projects to reinforce the things that you learn. Also, if you're in a position where you're fortunate enough to have someone nearby or online that you can look to as a mentor, someone that's maybe been doing it for a while, that knows a lot more, those are great resources. I can't tell you, I mean, I pester everyone that I can find, hopefully not too bad, that knows more than me so that I can continue to ask questions and learn from them. Same thing as like an athlete. Like if you're a really good basketball player, you're not going to get better playing basketball with people that are not as good as you. You're going to get better by playing with people that are at a higher level. Question number 8. What's one thing that surprised you this past year? So the biggest thing that surprised me is just that I enjoy web development, that I've really loved it. Like I said, before getting into it, I was really nervous and scared and shied away from it, but I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the community. It's so active, it's so modern. You can find so many people on YouTube and Twitter and Udemy and all that kind of stuff that are doing great things. There's so many conferences, there's so many technologies, there's always something to learn. And that's something I've really enjoyed. So the past year in web development, I've loved. I'm surprised I like it even more than I did mobile development, but I think this is kind of the next phase of my career, personal and professional, is really doing web development. And I plan on that being my future for the time being. But question number 9, what do you like most about web development? The community, the engagement, the amount of technologies that are out there, the amount of options that you have in technologies to build things. You look at mobile development for Android, for example, you've got more or less the straightforward Java way. You can do cross-platform with C# and Xamarin. You can do a couple of other things with wrapping like web applications into a mobile application. But with web development, there's so many different options, and you can really spend some time and play around with different ones to find one that works really well for you. Web development is such a hot topic. It's so quickly evolving. There's always stuff to learn. There's always people to connect with. There's always people to learn from. And I think I've learned, after you learn some of the basics, you can create some cool stuff really quickly. That's one thing that was really surprising. It didn't take me a long time to be able to create something that I was proud of. Whereas in other areas, it might take a little longer. You've got, I don't know, you can do stuff pretty quickly, and that's got a really good fulfillment aspect to it. Question number 10, what's the best advice that you have for someone looking to learn web development? So my best advice going forward, it's really simple. Learn something, whatever it is. If you're just getting started, learn JavaScript, learn HTML, learn CSS, learn Node, learn Angular, whatever it is that you're interested in, learn that, and then build something with it. The best experience you're ever gonna get is to actually build something. You'll never find a better way to learn. As much time as I spend on YouTube and watching videos and stuff, the biggest learning I have is when I'm trying to apply that into side projects and samples and personal projects. So just build something. It's really simple. There's lots of excuses why you shouldn't do it. People won't like it. It won't be good. It doesn't matter. You build something. If it's worth showing people, it's worth showing people. If not, that's fine. But you'll learn so much more that way. I had a great foundation in computer science in college. I learned way more on the job learning just from building stuff than I ever did in college. And that's how you're gonna learn. So just really, really simple, build something. So this has turned out to be a lot of me talking. I hope it resonates with some of you guys. I hope it helps you get started if you are just getting started in web development. I hope that it gives you some insight into my experience and it helps you in some kind of way. So here's one thing I wanna know from you guys. What was your experience like getting started with web development? Was it really tough? Did it work out well? Do you still do it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it okay? Comment below. Let me know what you think. I want to hear from you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something, and have something that you can take away. I'll see you guys next week in a new video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.